In the last episode, my companions and I had just emerged victorious in Lyrian's government, and I was basking in their adoration, still reeling from our recent triumphs. But a cryptic message from our enigmatic ally had set me on a perilous odyssey to unearth the fabled Aethereian archive. I knew that I had to venture into the Forsaken City to track down the elusive cartographer, Elara, whose arcane maps promised to guide us to the archive. As I stood on the outskirts of the Forsaken City, the wind whipping my hair into a frenzy, I felt a shiver run down my spine. The city's twisted spires and crumbling towers loomed before me, a testament to the devastating power of the Aethereian cataclysm. I took a deep breath and began my journey into the heart of the city, my footsteps echoing off the walls. I had to find Elara before anyone else did. The thought of her arcane maps and the secrets they held sent a surge of determination through me. As I navigated the deserted streets, I stumbled upon a hidden entrance to an ancient Aethereian ruin. The air around me seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy, and I could feel the weight of history bearing down on me. I stepped into the ruin, my eyes adjusting to the dim light within. The air was thick with dust and the whispers of the past. I knew that I was getting close to finding Elara. Suddenly, I heard the sound of footsteps echoing through the ruin, growing louder with each passing moment. I drew my sword, my heart racing with anticipation. A figure emerged from the shadows, her eyes locked on mine with an unnerving intensity. It was Dr. Orion, a brilliant and reclusive scientist with radical theories on Aethereia's forgotten past. "You're searching for Elara, I presume?" she asked, her voice low and husky. I nodded, my grip on my sword tightening. "I can help you find her, but first you need to understand the true nature of the Aethereian archive. It's not just a collection of ancient texts and artifacts, it's a key to unlocking the secrets of Aethereia's forgotten past." Dr. Orion's words hung in the air, heavy with significance. I knew that I had to hear more. "What do you mean?" I asked, my curiosity piqued. Dr. Orion's eyes seemed to gleam with excitement. "The Aethereian archive holds the secrets of Lyra's biotechnology, secrets that could change the course of our world's history." I felt a surge of determination course through me. I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, to uncover the secrets of the Aethereian archive and claim my place in history. But as I turned to leave, I was confronted by a group of heavily armed guards, their eyes cold and unforgiving. "It seems we're not the only ones searching for Elara," Dr. Orion said, her voice dripping with concern. I gripped my sword tightly, ready to face the challenge ahead. The stakes had just gotten a lot higher. "We need to get out of here now," I said to Dr. Orion. I sheathed my sword and took off in a sprint, Dr. Orion close behind. We ran through the winding tunnels of the ancient ruin, the sound of our pursuers growing fainter with each passing moment. But I knew it wouldn't last. We had to keep moving, had to find Elara and her maps before anyone else did. As we emerged into the bright sunlight, I caught sight of a figure waiting for us in the distance. It was Elara, her eyes locked on mine with a hint of a smile. But as I approached her, I realized that she was not alone. A group of shadowy figures lurked in the background, their eyes fixed on us with an unnerving intensity. Elara's smile grew wider. "I think it's time we got out of here, don't you?" she said. I nodded, my heart racing with anticipation. We had a long journey ahead of us, one that would take us to the very limits of Aethereia previously. Alex and his companions had just emerged victorious in Lyrian's government, only to be set on a perilous odyssey to unearth the fabled Aethereian archive, prompting him to venture into the Forsaken City to track down the elusive cartographer, Elara, whose arcane maps promised to guide them to the archive. As I stood before Elara, her enigmatic smile sent a shiver down my spine. "I think it's time we got out of here, don't you?" she said, her eyes glinting with a sense of urgency. Suddenly, the air around us seemed to ripple with an otherworldly energy, and I felt the whispers of the past echoing through me. It was then that I noticed the strange tattoo on her hand, pulsing with an eerie blue light. "Follow me," she whispered, her eyes darting around the group of shadowy figures lurking in the background. We set off in a sprint, the forsaken city's crumbling towers looming above us like sentinels. I could feel the weight of history bearing down on me, the secrets of the Aethereian past whispering in my ear. As we navigated the winding alleys of the city, the sound of our pursuers grew louder, the heavily armed guards hot on our heels. But Elara seemed to know every twist and turn, every secret passage and hidden alleyway. We eventually found ourselves at the entrance of an ancient, long-abandoned temple hidden deep within the city's heart. "This is it," Elara said, her eyes shining with excitement. "This is where the maps leading to the Aethereian archive are hidden." I could feel my determination surging through me, the thrill of the challenge ahead. But as we stepped into the temple's dimly lit interior, I was not prepared for what lay before us, a sprawling chamber filled with ancient artifacts, relics, and mysterious devices that seemed to hum with an otherworldly energy. And in the center of it all, a glowing sphere pulsed with an intense blue light, radiating a power that seemed to draw me in. "What is this place?" I asked, awestruck by the sights around me. "This is the Chamber of Resonance," Elara said, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's where the Aethereians' ancient scientists studied the secrets of the universe." I could feel my heart racing with anticipation, my mind reeling with the implications. Suddenly, Dr. Orion stepped forward, her eyes fixed on the glowing sphere. "This is it," she whispered. "This is the key to unlocking the secrets of Lyra's biotechnology." I could feel the weight of history bearing down on me, the secrets of the Aethereian past whispering in my ear. But as we stood there, transfixed by the wonders before us, I realized that we were not alone. A group of powerful Aethereian entities emerged from the shadows, their eyes fixed on us with an unnerving intensity. "You should not have come here," one of the entities said, its voice like a crack of thunder. I could feel my heart racing with anticipation, my determination surging through me. I knew that we had to get out of there, had to find a way to unlock the secrets of the Aethereian archive before they did. The stakes had just gotten a lot higher previously. Alex and his companions had uncovered the secrets of the Chamber of Resonance, only to be confronted by powerful Aethereian entities determined to claim the Aethereian archive for themselves. Now, with the stakes higher than ever, Alex must rely on his growing courage and leadership to guide his friends through the treacherous landscapes and formidable foes that lie ahead. As the Aethereian entities closed in, their eyes blazing with an otherworldly intensity, I knew we had to act fast. "We need to get out of here now," I shouted to my companions, my heart racing with anticipation. Dr. Orion was already working on the devices, trying to override the ancient security systems. Elara, meanwhile, was busy deciphering the arcane maps, searching for a way to bypass the temple's deadly traps. But Lyra, ever the warrior, stood tall, her eyes locked on the entities. "We're not going anywhere," she said, her voice steady and firm. "Not until we've secured the secrets of the Aethereian archive." I knew she was right. We couldn't let the entities get their hands on that power. With a fierce determination, I charged forward, Lyra by my side, Dr. Orion and Elara close behind. We clashed with the entities in a flurry of punches, dodges, and sword strikes. The chamber echoed with the sound of battle, the air thick with the scent of ozone and smoke. But as the fight raged on, I began to realize that the entities were not the only danger. The temple was alive, its ancient systems stirring, its deadly traps waiting to be sprung. I could feel the weight of the Aethereian past, whispering warnings in my mind. Suddenly, the chamber shook, the ground trembling beneath our feet. The entities let out a collective roar, their eyes blazing with fury. I knew we had to get out fast. "Fall back," I shouted, grabbing Lyra's arm. Now, Dr. Orion and Elara were already making a run for the exit, the maps and devices clutched in our hands. We burst out of the temple, the entities hot on our heels. The forsaken city loomed before us, its crumbling towers and winding alleys stretching out like a labyrinth. But I knew we couldn't stop. Not yet. We had to push on to find the Aethereian archive before it fell into the wrong hands. As we sprinted through the city, the sound of our pursuers growing louder, I knew that our journey was far from over. In fact, it was only just beginning previously. Alex and his companions barely escaped the temple with their lives, fleeing the wrath of the Aethereian entities and the ancient temple's deadly traps, but not before discovering the Chamber of Resonance, a crucial clue to unlocking the Aethereian archive. As we fled through the forsaken city, my heart pounding in my chest, I knew we couldn't keep running. We had to find a safe haven, a place to regroup and plan our next move. Elara's map led us to an abandoned inn on the outskirts of the city, its door creaking as we pushed it open. The interior was shrouded in darkness, the air thick with dust and the stench of neglect. But it was a sanctuary, if only for a brief moment. I slumped down on the worn wooden floor, my chest heaving as I gasped for air. Lyra collapsed beside me, her eyes still blazing with the adrenaline of combat. Dr. Orion and Elara hovered around us, their faces etched with concern. "What now?" Lyra asked, her voice husky from exhaustion. "We need to get to the Aethereian archive before those entities do," I replied, trying to sound more confident than I felt. "But we can't do it alone. We need help, and we need it fast." Dr. Orion nodded, his eyes lighting up with determination. "I know someone who might be able to assist. A recluse who's been studying the ancient lore of Aethereia. She might be willing to share her knowledge with us." I nodded, a glint of hope sparking within me. "Let's go find her. We don't have much time." With that, we set out on a perilous journey to find this mysterious recluse, navigating treacherous landscapes and ancient ruins, all in pursuit of the secrets of the Aethereian archive previously. Alex and his companions narrowly escaped the temple, discovering the Chamber of Resonance, a vital clue to the Aethereian archive, before fleeing to an abandoned inn on the outskirts of the forsaken city to regroup and plan their next move. As I stood up, brushing off the dust, a faint hum began to reverberate through the inn's walls, like the quiet thrumming of a harp string. It sent shivers down my spine. Lyra's gaze snapped to mine, her eyes flashing with a mixture of concern and curiosity. "What's happening?" she asked, her hand instinctively reaching for the hilt of her sword. I shook my head, my mind racing. "I don't know, but I think we're about to find out." Suddenly, the hum ceased and an eerie silence descended upon us. It was as if the very air itself was holding its breath in anticipation. And then, without warning, a figure materialized before us, her ethereal presence sending a ripple of wonder through the air. "Greetings, Alex," she said, her voice like the gentle rustling of leaves. "I am Ariana, the recluse Dr. Orion spoke of." "You've come seeking knowledge of the Aethereian archive," I replied, my voice barely above a whisper. Ariana's gaze seemed to bore into my very soul. "I know why you're here," she said, her words dripping with an otherworldly wisdom. "You seek the secrets of the archive, but do you have the courage to face what lies within?" With that, she vanished as suddenly as she appeared, leaving behind a small, intricately carved wooden box. Etched on its lid was a single haunting word: Eldrador. Dr. Orion's eyes lit up with excitement. Eldrador, he breathed, the lost city of the ancient Aethereians. It's said to hold the key to unlocking the archive's secrets. I swallowed hard, the stakes growing higher with every passing moment. Then we have no choice. We must venture into the heart of Eldrador, no matter the danger that lay within previously. Alex and his companions discovered the Chamber of Resonance, a crucial clue to the Aethereian archive, and fled to an abandoned inn on the forsaken city's outskirts. There, they encountered Ariana, a mysterious recluse who revealed the existence of the lost city of Eldrador, where the secrets of the archive await. I gazed down at the wooden box, the word Eldrador etched onto its lid like a siren's call to adventure. As I lifted the lid, a puff of dust wafted out, carrying with it whispers of forgotten civilizations and ancient mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Dr. Orion's eyes gleamed with an unbridled enthusiasm, and Lyra's hand instinctively tightened around the hilt of her sword, as if preparing for the battles to come. "We move out," I announced, my voice firm and resolute. "We'll venture into the heart of Eldrador, no matter the danger that lies within." As we set out into the unknown, the forsaken city's crumbling spires fading into the distance, the air grew thick with an electric sense of anticipation. Lyra walked beside me, her footsteps light, while Dr. Orion trailed behind, lost in thought, his eyes fixed on the dusty landscape. The silence between us was a palpable, living thing, heavy with unspoken doubts and fears, yet tempered by an unspoken resolve to see this journey through. Hours passed, the sun beating down upon us like a relentless drum, until the landscape shifted, the dusty plains yielding to a labyrinth of ancient crumbling structures, their ruins shrouded in a veil of eternal twilight. Eldrador, the lost city of the ancient Aethereians, sprawled before us like a sleeping titan, its secrets waiting to be unearthed. By the ancients, Lyra breathed, her eyes sweeping across the ruins. "This is it. This is Eldrador." Dr. Orion's eyes darted about, drinking in the secrets etched into the ancient stones. "We need to be cautious," he warned, his voice barely above a whisper. "Eldrador is said to be cursed, home to malevolent entities and ancient traps designed to keep the secrets of the archive buried." I nodded, my hand instinctively reaching for the chamber of resonance, now safely tucked away in my pack. "Well, be careful," I assured him. "We'll work together, watch each other's backs." Lyra's gaze locked onto mine, a glint of determination burning within her eyes. "We've made it this far," she said. "We can make it through this too." With a deep breath, I led the way into the heart of Eldrador, the lost city of the ancient Aethereians. As we ventured deeper into the ruins, the silence grew thicker, until it became a living, breathing entity, waiting to pounce upon us at any moment previously. Alex and his companions discovered the chamber of resonance and fled to an abandoned inn, where they encountered Ariana, who revealed the existence of the lost city of Eldrador, where the secrets of the Aethereian archive await. Alex and his friends ventured into Eldrador, braving the treacherous ruins as they searched for the archive. As we delved deeper into the heart of Eldrador, the air grew colder, heavy with the weight of centuries-long secrets. I could feel the pulse of the city, a slow, mournful rhythm that echoed through the desolate landscape. Every step we took seemed to reverberate through the ruins, as if the city itself was watching us, waiting for us to uncover its secrets. Suddenly, Lyra's gaze snapped towards a nearby structure, her eyes fixed on a symbol etched into the wall. "What's that?" she whispered, her hand instinctively reaching for her sword. Dr. Orion hurried to her side, his eyes scanning the symbol with an expert's intensity. "It's a warning," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "A warning of a guardian, a powerful Aethereian entity designed to protect the archive from unwanted intruders." I felt a shiver run down my spine as I gazed upon the symbol. "What kind of guardian?" I asked, my voice steady. Dr. Orion's eyes locked onto mine, his expression grim. "The kind that will not hesitate to destroy us if it perceives us as a threat to the archive." As if on cue, the air around us began to charge with an electric energy, the silence growing thicker, heavier. I could feel the Guardian's presence, its weight pressing down upon us. "We need to find the archive before the Guardian finds us," I said, my voice firm. Lyra nodded, her hand tightening around the hilt of her sword. "Let's move out." With the Guardian closing in, we ventured deeper into the heart of Eldrador, the silence growing thicker, our footsteps echoing through the desolate landscape like a countdown to our fate previously. Alex and his companions discovered the chamber of resonance, met Ariana, and ventured into the lost city of Eldrador to search for the Aethereian archive, where they encountered a warning symbol of a guardian entity designed to protect the archive from unwanted intruders. As we delved deeper into the heart of Eldrador, the silence was shattered by the sound of grinding stone. The walls of the ancient structure we were exploring started to close in on us, sealing off our escape route. The Guardian's presence was suffocating, making every breath a struggle. "Find a way out," Lyra yelled, her sword flashing in the dim light as she hacked at the encroaching stone. Dr. Orion's eyes darted around the room, his hands weaving intricate patterns in the air as he searched for an hidden mechanism or weakness in the ancient structure. "I need more time," he shouted back. I knew I had to make a decision, or we'd be crushed by the Guardian's trap. "We need to distract the Guardian, give Dr. Orion time to work," I yelled, my eyes locking onto a nearby pedestal where a strange, pulsating crystal sat. Without hesitation, I snatched the crystal, its energy coursing through me. The room around us erupted into chaos. The stone walls halted their encroachment as if the Guardian's attention was drawn to me. I could feel its eyes on me, its intent clear: to eliminate the threat I posed to the archive. "You have my attention, Guardian," I said, my voice steady, despite the fear that threatened to overwhelm me. "Let's see who comes out on top." With the crystal's power coursing through me, I charged forward, ready to face the Guardian head-on. The outcome was far from certain, but one thing was clear: only one of us would emerge victorious. Previously, Alex and his companions discovered the Chamber of Resonance, met Ariana, and ventured into the lost city of Eldrador to search for the Aethereian archive, where they encountered a warning symbol of a Guardian entity designed to protect the archive from unwanted intruders. As they navigated the ancient structure, they triggered the Guardian's trap, sealing off their escape route. Alex decided to distract the Guardian, using a mysterious pulsating crystal to draw its attention, and charged forward, ready to face the entity head-on. As I charged forward, the Guardian's presence enveloped me, its energy suffocating. I could feel its intent to eliminate me, but I refused to back down. With the crystal's power coursing through me, I unleashed a fierce cry, channeling the energy into a blast that struck the Guardian. The entity stumbled, its hold on the ancient structure wavering. Dr. Orion, sensing the opening, sprinted towards a hidden mechanism, his hands weaving a complex pattern in the air. The Guardian's response was immediate. It summoned a maelstrom of elemental forces, unleashing a torrent of fire, water, and earth against us. Lyra and Ariana leapt into action, their blades flashing as they deflected the attacks, while Aaron provided cover fire from the shadows. I, meanwhile, focused on maintaining the distraction, using the crystal to amplify my abilities. The battle raged on, each side trading blows in a frenzy of light and sound. In the midst of the chaos, Dr. Orion shouted, "I've found it, the mechanism to bypass the Guardian's trap." With a burst of speed, he activated the hidden mechanism, and the ancient structure began to tremble. The walls, once closing in on us, now parted to reveal a hidden passage, leading deeper into the heart of Eldrador. With the Guardian momentarily stunned, I seized the opportunity, grabbing my companions and pulling them into the hidden route. We stumbled through the passage, the Guardian's roars echoing behind us, growing fainter as we distanced ourselves from the ancient structure. Finally, we emerged into a vast, dimly lit chamber, the air thick with an otherworldly energy. As we caught our breath, I gazed upon the wonders of the Aethereian archive. Towering shelves, lined with ancient tomes, glowing orbs and mysterious artifacts stretched towards the ceiling. The secrets of Aethereia's forgotten past lay before us, waiting to be uncovered. But, as we stepped forward, a new challenge emerged. A figure, shrouded in shadows, stood at the far end of the chamber watching us. "Welcome, Alex," the figure said, its voice like the rustling of ancient parchment. "I am the keeper of the Aethereian archive. You have proven your worth, but the true test has only just begun." Previously, Alex and his companions outsmarted the trap in the lost city of Eldrador, defeating the Guardian entity and discovering the Aethereian archive. However, their triumph was short-lived as they were met by the enigmatic keeper of the Aethereian archive, who hinted that their true test had only begun. As the keeper's words hung in the air, the chamber was bathed in an unsettling silence. I sensed a mix of emotions among my companions. Lyra's hand instinctively went to her hip, Ariana's eyes narrowed, and Dr. Orion's gaze was fixed intently on the keeper. I, however, felt a sense of trepidation. I knew that we had come too far to back down now. The keeper began to move towards us, its pace deliberate and unhurried. As it drew closer, I noticed that its body seemed to be composed of some kind of dark, ethereal energy that swirled and eddied like a living mist. "You have demonstrated your courage and ingenuity," the keeper said, its voice dripping with an otherworldly cadence. "But the secrets of the Aethereian archive come at a steep price. Are you prepared to pay it?" I felt a shiver run down my spine as the keeper's words seemed to resonate deep within me. I knew that we had to be careful. One misstep could mean disaster. "What do you mean?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "The secrets of the archive are guarded by 5 ancient trials," the keeper replied, its gaze piercing. "Each trial will test your resolve, your courage, and your wits. But be warned, each trial will also exact a toll on your very soul." I felt a collective gasp from my companions, but I stood firm. I knew that we had come too far to turn back now. "We're ready," I said, my voice firm. The keeper's gaze seemed to bore deeper into my very essence, as if searching for any sign of doubt or weakness. Then, with a sudden movement, it raised its hand and the chamber was bathed in a brilliant light. "Then let the trials commence," the keeper declared, its voice booming through the chamber. As the light faded, I saw that we were standing in a vast, surrounded by 5 doors, each one adorned with intricate symbols and markings. "The first trial awaits," the keeper said, its gaze fixed on me. "Will you emerge victorious, or will you succumb to the challenges that lie ahead?" I took a deep breath, steeled myself, and stepped forward, my companions following close behind. We had faced many challenges before, and we would face many more. But I knew that together, we would emerge victorious. Previously, Alex and his companions defeated the Guardian entity and discovered the Aethereian archive, only to be met by the Keeper, who revealed that their true test had only begun. The Keeper introduced the 5 ancient trials, warning that each would test their resolve, courage, and wits, while exacting a toll on their souls. As I stepped forward, the air seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy emanating from the doors before us. The symbols etched into the surfaces appeared to pulse with a rhythm that seemed to synchronize with my own heartbeat. I could feel the weight of the trials ahead, the burden of my companions' expectations, and the uncertainty of the unknown. Yet I refused to falter. The Keeper's gaze followed me as I approached the first door. I raised my hand, hesitating for an instant, and then pushed it open. A warm, golden light spilled out, bathing us in its radiance, and we stepped into the unknown. We found ourselves in a vast, labyrinthine garden, filled with plants and trees that seemed to defy gravity, their branches twisted and gnarled. The air was thick with the scent of blooming flowers, and the sound of soft, ethereal music seemed to emanate from the very fabric of the air. Ariana stepped forward, her eyes shining with wonder as Lyra and Dr. Orion flanked me, their expressions guarded. "This is the Garden of Elara," a soft, melodious voice of a woman greeted us. "Here, the secrets of the Aethereian's connection to nature will be revealed to you. But first, you must prove your understanding of the delicate balance between life and death." As she spoke, the plants and trees around us began to wither and die, their petals dropping like autumn leaves. The music grew mournful and the air seemed to grow colder, as if the very essence of life was being drained from the garden. "What do we need to do?" Lyra asked, her voice above a whisper. "You must restore the balance," the woman replied, her voice like a gentle breeze. "Use your knowledge, your intuition, and your connection to the natural world. But be warned, the cost of failure will be dire." I felt a sense of determination rise within me. I knew that we had to succeed, not just for the sake of the trials, but for the future of Aethereia. "Let's get to work," I declared, and my companions nodded in unison. Together, we set out to restore the balance of the Garden of Elara, our bond growing stronger with every step, as we delved deeper into the trials ahead. But as we worked, I couldn't shake the feeling that the true test was not the trial itself, but our ability to trust in each other and to trust in ourselves. Previously, Alex and his companions overcame the first trial in the Aethereian archive, restoring balance to the Garden of Lyra, but at a great personal cost. The keeper warned that 4 more trials remained, each one more daunting than the last. As we emerged from the garden, the air felt heavy with the weight of our accomplishment. Our bond had grown stronger, but the toll on our souls was palpable. The keeper's gaze seemed to bore into my very essence, as if searching for any sign of weakness. "The second trial awaits," the keeper announced, its voice like thunder. "In the halls of reflection, you will confront the shadows of your own past. Will you emerge unscathed, or will the darkness consume you?" I steeled myself for the challenge ahead, my companions forming a tight circle around me. Together, we stepped through the doorway and into the unknown. The halls of reflection seemed to stretch on forever, lined with mirrors that reflected every fear, every doubt, and every failure. I felt the weight of my own insecurities bearing down upon me, but Ariana's hand slipped into mine, her gentle touch a beacon of hope. Lyra's voice whispered in my ear, "We're with you, Alex. We won't let you fall." Dr. Orion's eyes shone with an intensity that bordered on madness, as if he saw something in the reflections that the rest of us did not. As we walked, the mirrors began to shatter one by one, releasing dark, wispy tendrils that curled around our ankles like cold, dead fingers. I knew that we had to keep moving to push forward, no matter the cost. The mirrors began to show us images of our past, of the people we had lost, of the mistakes we had made. I felt the ache of my own regret, the sting of tears I had yet to shed, but I knew that I couldn't let the pain consume me. Suddenly, the mirrors shattered and the shadows dissipated. We stood before a great crystal lake, its surface reflecting the image of a great, winged creature, its eyes burning with an inner fire. "The third trial awaits," the keeper's voice boomed once more. "In the abyss of time, you will face the very fabric of eternity. Will you unravel the threads of fate, or will you succumb to the currents of chaos?" We stepped forward into the unknown, the weight of our destiny heavy upon us. As we waded through the abyss, the currents of time swirled around us, pulling us in different directions. I felt the pull of the past, of the present, and the uncertainty of the future. Dr. Orion's eyes gleamed with an intensity that bordered on madness. As he reached out to touch the threads of fate, Lyra's hand flashed out, grabbing his wrist, holding him back. "No, Dr. Orion," she warned. "We can't meddle with the fabric of time. The cost would be too great." But Dr. Orion's fingers had already grazed the threads, and the fabric of time began to unravel. The currents of chaos swirled around us, threatening to consume us all. I knew that I had to act, to make a choice, to guide my companions through the treacherous currents of time. I reached out, my hand closing around the threads of fate. In that moment, I felt the weight of eternity settle upon me. I saw the threads of every life that had ever been, that was, or would be. I saw the tapestry of time, woven from the fibers of every choice, every action, every decision. And in that moment, I knew what I had to do. I guided my companions through the currents of time, weaving a new tapestry, one of hope, of unity, of peace. As we emerged from the abyss, the weight of our destiny had changed. We had passed, but at a great cost. Dr. Orion stood apart, his eyes haunted by the secrets he had uncovered. The fourth trial awaited, and I knew that it would be the most daunting of all. In the furnace of souls, we would face our deepest fears, our darkest doubts. But I knew that we would emerge victorious, for we had found a new strength, a new unity, a new determination. As we stood before the furnace, its flames burning bright, I knew that we would emerge, forged anew, tempered by the trials, and ready to face the final challenge. The final trial awaited, and I knew that it would be the most daunting of all. In the Hall of Unity, we would face the ultimate test of our bond, of our trust, of our love. But I knew that we would emerge victorious, for we had found a new strength, a new unity, a new determination. As we stood before the hall, its doors opening wide, I knew that we would emerge changed forever, our bond forged in the fire of adversity, and our hearts filled with a new hope, a new unity, and a new determination. The doors closed behind us, and we stepped into the unknown. We emerged changed forever. Our bond had grown stronger, our hearts filled with a new hope, a new unity, and a new determination. The Keeper's gaze met mine, and I knew that we had passed the final trial. The Aethereian archive lay before us, its secrets waiting to be unlocked. We had proven ourselves worthy, and the future of Ethereia lay within our grasp. As we stepped forward, the air seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy, and the symbols etched into the surfaces seemed to pulse with a rhythm that synchronized with our own heartbeat. I knew that we would emerge victorious, that our legend would grow, inspiring others to join our cause, that we would forge unexpected alliances and confront formidable foes, that we would navigate treacherous landscapes and emerge victorious, claiming the secrets of the Aethereian archive. And as we stood on the threshold of a new era, I knew that our bond, forged in adversity, would be the beacon of hope that would guide Ethereia towards a brighter future, a future filled with courage, hope, and unity. Epilogue. As I stood on the threshold of a new era, I knew that our legend would grow, inspiring others to join our cause. I saw Lyra, standing tall, her eyes shining with a new determination. I saw Aaron, his cunning smile hiding a heart of gold. I saw the long-lost city of Eldrador, its secrets waiting to be uncovered. And I saw the ruins of Entera, its mysteries waiting to be revealed. I knew that our journey was far from over, that new challenges awaited us, that new trials would test our resolve, our courage, and our wits. But I also knew that we had found a new strength, a new unity, and a new determination. And I knew that we would emerge victorious, for we had found a new hope, a new unity, and a new determination. As I looked out into the unknown, I knew that our legend would grow, inspiring a new generation of Aethereians to strive for a world where courage, hope, and unity had overcome the darkness of their past.